Hello, everyone, and thank you for your time. Today, I'll walk you through YARTEMLEA, also known as Narsoplimab, and more importantly, why this asset matters from an investment perspective. I'll keep this focused on value, risk, and execution, not hype. Let me start by framing what this is and what it is not. This is not a pipeline promise. This is not a theoretical platform discussion. This is an FDA-approved product already positioned by its own documentation as a strategic analysis. That tells us right away we're looking at a commercial stage asset, not a science experiment. Why this approval matters. The document itself describes this as a landmark approval with a focused future. Those two words matter. Landmark tells you the FDA saw something here worth approving despite non-traditional trial constraints. Focus Future tells you management is signaling discipline, not overreach, not reckless expansion. From an investor standpoint, that combination reduces execution risk. The disease reality now, let's talk about the problem being addressed. TA-TMA is described very plainly as a devastating and often fatal complication. That's not marketing language. That's clinical reality. This is a post-stem cell transplant condition with historically very high mortality, and until now, no approved therapies. Severity like this drives three things investors care about: regulatory flexibility, pricing power, payer acceptance, the biological moat. This is where the differentiation really lives. YARTEMLEA works through selective inhibition of MASP2 in the lectin pathway. Translated simply, it targets the pathway driving the disease without shutting down the entire complement system. Why does that matter commercially? Because broad complement inhibition carries infection risk. This mechanism does not, or at least significantly reduces it. This is biology doing the competitive work, not just IP. Clinical evidence, enough not excess. The data package shows high rates of complete response. Now, investors sometimes get nervous when they hear single-arm trials. But in diseases like this, randomized trials are not practical or ethical. What matters is consistency of response, alignment with biology, reinforcement from expanded access experience. That's exactly what supported FDA approval here. Survival signal. The document explicitly references improved survival compared with historical outcomes. In rare lethal diseases, survival is the endpoint that matters most, to regulators, to physicians, to payers. Once you establish a survival benefit, you establish legitimacy, safety as risk control. Another phrase used is favorable safety profile. I want to emphasize this point from an investor lens. Safety here is an upside. It's downside protection. It reduces label fragility, post-marketing surprises, regulatory backlash. Safety preserves value. Regulatory strength. One of the most important statements in the document is that this was FDA approval despite the absence of randomized controlled trials. That tells you the FDA was persuaded by the severity of the disease, the strength of the mechanism, the consistency of the outcomes. This lowers regulatory reversal risk going forward. Commercial execution model. Commercially, treatment is concentrated in specialized transplant centers. This is exactly what you want to hear as an investor. It means a small, targeted sales force, highly concentrated prescribers, lower SG, and a burden. This is a capital-efficient launch, not a mass market burn. Market access and pricing there is significant unmet medical need with no approved alternatives. That sentence alone explains the pricing logic. Short-course, life-saving therapy in a fatal disease. Payers don't have many levers to push back. Revenue quality matters more than revenue size here. Competitive landscape. Importantly, there were no approved therapies for TA-TMA prior to YARTEMLEA. This is true first-mover advantage. Not theoretical, actual. And because the mechanism is differentiated, substitution risk is low. Here is the emphasis. A disciplined, indication-focused approach. This is management signaling restraint. For investors, restraint means controlled burn, reduced safety risk, clear execution priorities. Discipline protects long-term value. So let me leave you with the core takeaway. YARTEMLEA represents an FDA-approved first-in-class asset with a defensible biological mechanism in a high-severity orphan market executed with capital discipline. This is not a hype-driven growth story. It is a durable, execution-led investment opportunity with asymmetric upside and controlled downside. Thank you.